We're back with another one of the blind boosters from Resistance's Futile. This time we're looking at the Vulcan D'Kyr class Tal'Kir, and we'll get right in and take a look. There's the D'Kyr class dial, same one that we've had multiple times now. There's our D'Kyr class. See, interesting maneuver dial. A lot of these are the same nowadays, not too horrible much in variety, more in the colors of the turns is where things are differ, but lacking those one tight turns, topping out at a 4, has that one reverse in there. The fact that the 2 and 3 tight turns are red kind of hinders it as far as maneuverability go. It's capable of those, but you're not going to be seeing it do a lot of those. Makes up for it though with a larger fire arc. Then we have our named Tal'Kir. 3 attack, 1 agility, 5 hull, which is nice, 4 shield, a tech upgrade, a weapon upgrade, 2 crew upgrades for 26 points. And you have evasive, target lock, scan, and battle station. And our named ability is each time you defend during the modified defense dice step of the combat phase, you may add an evasive result to your roll. If you do so, place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. The fact that it takes place during the modified defense step means you've already had your action step for the turn, so getting that auxiliary power isn't that detrimental. You just pull a green maneuver on your next turn and you're all set. You don't even lose an action out of the deal. Just makes you a little more predictable the next turn. And we have our generic D'Kyr class starship. Using 1 shield. Using 1 crew for 24 points. For captains, we have Solok. Captain skill is 6, 1 elite talent for 4 points. You may perform a evasive or scan as a free action each round. If you do so, place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. Interesting in that it gives you the extra action economy. The fact that it's a free action, you can do your normal action first, then your free action, then get your auxiliary power token, so it's not costing you anything that round. And again, you pull the green maneuver your next turn, clear it out, and you can repeat the process. It makes you a little more predictable in that you're going to be trying to perform those green maneuvers more often, but still playable. And we have our generic Vulcan captain. Captain skill of 1 for 0 points. For elite talents, we have Vulcan logic for 4 points. During the roll defense dice step of the combat phase, you can discard this card to roll +2 defense dice. If you do so during the modified defense dice step, you may re-roll any number of your defense dice. This upgrade can only be purchased for a Vulcan captain assigned to a Vulcan ship. 4-point discard's a little steep. You're getting +2 defense dice and the ability to re-roll them. So, kind of balances out. A little steep points wise, but for what you get out of it, it can definitely be worth it. The Vulcans tend to be a little more strategic than most of the other races, so in the hands of a skilled player, definitely a useful card there. Interesting to see if a good enough player can get it to work. Definitely in the right situation, though, it is useful. For crew, we have Kav for 4 points. As an action, you can discard this card to repair up to 2 damage to your ship's hull or shields. Kinda nice. Always good to have ways to repair. A discard to do 2, it's kinda iffy. For 4 points, not a huge fan of high points cost discards. There are ways to prevent crew discards, so it's possible that that could be used in combination to get it to at least use them more than once. But then you're starting to get into even more points because you have to have the other upgrades that will protect him from being discarded. And all sorts of combos ensue from there. But always nice to see a way to repair things. I think the Vulcans are one of the few factions that didn't have a way to repair. So take it or leave it. The usefulness is there on them. For weapon upgrades, we have Photonic Weapon. 4 points. Attack value of 4. Range 2 to 3. Spend your target lock and disable this card to perform the attack. You can re-roll all of your blank results once, and it can be fired from your front or rear arc. If it didn't require a target lock, I think this would be a great weapon. The fact that it requires a target lock kind of hurts it as far as action-wise goes. You do get the reroll in there, the blanks, so you're not a total loss like some of the torpedoes are. But the fact that you're disabling and using a target lock, it runs into the same action economy as the current torpedoes. But like I said, you're at least getting the benefit of the target lock out of it, so it's not that bad. The ability to fire out of front or rear arcs is nice, especially on the ship because of the large arcs, which we'll get to here in a bit. For tech upgrades, we have Power Grid for 2 points. And this is really what ties a lot of the other upgrades on this ship together. When you're supposed to place an auxiliary power token beside your ship, you can disable this card instead. So at the cost of disabling this in action later on to re-enable it, you're negating some of those auxiliary power tokens that you get from the ship's named ability or the captain or various upgrades. So it kind of evens things out. The fact that it's not limited to 1 per ship means you can run multiples of these if you have the tech slots available. That really adds a little more utility, and the fact that you can ignore multiples at that point, but definitely a reusable way to ignore auxiliary power tokens at the cost of an action later on down the road when you have a free one to re-enable it. Is definitely worth it in my opinion. For the rest of the expansion, you have our auxiliary and crit tokens, a battle station scan and evasive, a disable, 4 shields, target lock N1 this time. Being that these were from an OP event, there's no mission with this pack. For the ship, it's the same model that we've had for a while now. It's been used before, I believe. Still might be wrong on this because it's been a while, and Vulcans are not one of my favorite, but I believe the shuttle in the back there is still upside down. I know a lot of people fixed them on their models, but there's actually, hard to see in there, but there's a little shuttle inside the ring there. The actual ship itself, this is how they are in warp drive with this ring extended. When they go to normal speed, this ring actually collapses down, and that's how the shuttle gets out of there. But interesting model, lots of little details on there. If you're interested in painting them, it does not want to focus. But yeah, you can see the little vents there. They're very shiny, but it is a cool looking model. I think these rings, something makes me think they're supposed to be blue too, the actual inside here. They have some blue, like, terribly painted markings on the inside of the larger ring, but not the outer one here, so that could be wrong. It's been a while. Like I said, Vulcans are not my most favorite faction. For our base here, we have the name Tal'Kir, 180-degree front arc. It's common to pretty much, I believe, all of the Vulcan ships. We have that 90-degree rear arc, which is nice, giving you these 2 little blind spots on the side. This combined with that photonic weapon pretty much lets you shoot in any direction but these 2 little corners here, so kind of a nice thing there. And our generic D'Kyr class with the same. So there you have pretty much a basic, well-rounded ship. It's not really a expert in anything, but it's kind of a jack of all trades. The 5 hull is nice, combined with a 4 shield on the named is respectable. The abilities work together well with the cards in the pack. Everything that gives you those auxiliary power tokens, you got that power grid to make up for it. The photonic weapon can be used to extend your fire arcs and give you that 4 damage as opposed to the ship's native 3. Combine that with some other things to bump it up, and you can have a respectable fighting ship as well. More in the mid-range second line attacker support type ship. The slot loadout's kind of odd, but definitely useful. If you're a Vulcan player, a lot of cool options in here to work with some of the other things you have available. Definitely a playable faction at this point, if not combined with Federation. Most obviously playable in that respect. They fill in the few things the Federation are missing. Vulcans tend to take a little bit more skill than other factions to play. They don't have the tricks that the Romulans have, the raw firepower of the Klingons, or the wide variety of crews that the Federation have. but they definitely are playable and have some really mean combinations in the right hands. Curious to see where they go from here, especially in the hands of your more experienced players. Waiting to see some of these oddball factions show up in big name tournament lists and win some of these big events. Anyway, that's it for this one, and we'll see you in the next video.